If you are a crafter, a DIY crafter, or you're just looking for a new craft to try your hand at, this is definitely the video for you. If you're new to my channel, my name is Dee and I make my own handmade watercolor paints. I do little wood designs and I also have a glaze that I use with them. In this video, I'm going to show you how to put together your own little interchangeable calendar that I've created. Then I'll take you through everything that's in your craft kit and also all the assembly steps. Let's dive right in and we'll get started with that. Let's dive right in and we go over the wood elements that you will receive in your craft kit. Depending on which time of the year you buy your craft kit, your design piece is going to differ. Currently we're in December, so this is the January craft box. This will be the January month toppers at the top. This is the piece that's going to make your calendar interchangeable. For this piece at the moment, there's going to be 5 different collections. You're either going to have the gnome collection. So this one will always feature a gnome. For every month of the year, there will be a gnome in the design, and then obviously the month name. Or you can go for the cozy kitty cat one. This one will feature a kitty cat in all future designs for the rest of the year. The penguin one that's currently available will have different animal characters during the course of the year. Then you'll have the floral one, which starts with January being the snowdrops as the national floral for January. I will create new floral designs for the rest of the year. There is also a blank one. If you wanted to use whatever craft you do to attach to the blank one to make up your own calendar, you can also do that. This will be your base. This will be the piece that we will use to hang your calendar pieces up. These are building blocks for this. These side bars to make sure that you can attach the legs for your calendar. Then you will also receive these cutie pies. These are little icons that you can put on special dates, special occasions, or for specific appointments, just to make your calendar a little bit prettier. So like for dentists, or when you have to do shopping, or when you've got craft sessions on, when you need to take your car in for a service or a MOT, when you've got drinks planned, you get the idea. I'll probably release more of these during the course of the year, as and when you guys suggest new ones. If there's anything that you would like to see in these, make sure you pop a comment in the bottom of this video and I will have a look at those and create those for future collections. Let's dive in and we'll look at all the additional pieces or elements that you will get with your craft kit. If you buy the full craft kit and not just the calendar on its own, you will also get the additional items. You're going to receive 6 of my paint colors. The paint colors will be dependent on the design that you've chosen. You will also receive 10 grams of my clear stuff, which is my UV LED glaze, a little tub of wood glue because you're going to need this to do your application with, and then you're also going to receive your calendars. A couple of tools that you'll need for when you do your assembly. I like to use these little bulldog clips to have them handy just to keep the wood pieces in place while they dry. A detail stick, or you can use a cocktail stick or even a toothpick just to get the glue out and apply this, and also just a pen to mark where your little blocks are going to go in the back to make your calendar actually interchangeable. One tool that I forgot to mention that you should keep at hand is just an emery board. Any type of emery board will do the trick, and I'll show you in a bit why you'll need these. So I'll put those to the side. The very first thing that I suggest that you do is actually paint your topper. If you wanted some tips and tricks on how to use your watercolor paint, then I would suggest you hop over to the video in my description for my watercolor paints, where I share some tips and tricks. And hopefully by the time you watch this, I'll also have a video with tips and tricks on my glaze as well. If not, then make sure you subscribe and come back to the channel and you'll be able to watch that one at a later stage. Before we start with assembly, I quickly want to show you guys how to adhere your paints to your little palettes. So you will receive them loose, and all you need to do is just add a drop of water to your palette. I use my little pipette that comes in my starter kits, but you can also just use anything else just to pick up a drop of water and just pop that down on the palette. So all that you want to do is pop that drop of water down and then pop one of the dots of paint on, and you're just going to go around and you're going to add them all to the palette. Now what the water will do is it will rehydrate the paint, and then the paint dot will adhere to the palette. I'm just going to go around and do all of these. And then what we'll do is we'll pop back to this later and I'll show you guys that they are attached, And then if they start bleeding, what I do then, just to make it look a little bit better. So I'm going to put this to one side and then we can start with the assembly. So the very first pieces that you're going to assemble will be your base, and then these two little pieces. These two little pieces will be the pieces that will hold the little rod that will go through and keep your calendar hanging on your desk calendar. All you need to do is just grab these little guys, open your glue, grab just a little bit of glue. Don't go wild on this. This glue is actually the Gorilla Glue. And the reason why I use this is because after about a minute or two, you'll be able to carry on with the next step. So you don't have to wait for hours before you can do the next step. I mean, if you know me, you know I always say that I need to do something just to save me time. If you see, I've only put glue on the sides of this one because that will be enough to just adhere it. Just pop those in and then leave those for about a minute just to dry, just like that. I've left this one for about 2 minutes, and now we're just going to move on to the next step. First thing that I want to do is I just want to pop this rod through, and the reason why I do this is so that I can look at the space for my, or the positioning, sorry, I should say, for this topper piece. Because you want this topper piece to basically be, if I can just lift it up, to be right above, there we go, right above where these little guys sit, because your calendar is going to hang at the bottom of this. When I do the new designs, I'll always make sure that you have enough space up there. And if you look, especially on the no one, if you've got that one, you can see kind of, it kind of marks it there for you, doesn't it? What you want to do is you want to hold this, open your pen or get a pencil with a sharp end, get that ready, and then hold this in place, and you're going to flip this over just like that. And I'm just making sure that I hold it in place. And then I'm just going to draw the little spaces there. These little holes and the blocks that we're going to attach is what actually makes the calendar interchangeable. So I'm just busy editing this video and realized I forgot to press record on a whole section of this tutorial, and it's probably the most important part. So I'm going to head over to the studio, re-record that section, pop it in over here for you guys, and then we'll return to the original video. This is where we're going to use the emery board. For this, we need to make sure that these little blocks actually fit through these holes. Now, even though I cut them with the same size every time, for some reason, sometimes it just doesn't fit in properly. What we need to do is just pop the little blocks on, and you can see this one is not going to clip right through. And I just want to check this one as well. That one's also, well, that one is just not going through. And then if I go the small ones as well, if they are slightly bigger than the holes, where's the other one? We're going to just file them down slightly. All we need to do on all of these is just take the emery board and on the edges, just file it down slightly. Just go around, and for my first go, I do all the edges. And then what I'll do now is I'm going to try and pop it through again and see if I need to readjust it. And now it literally just needs a little bit more on that edge, and then it will pop through. So I'm just going to take it out again. And now it should fit through. And there you go. Go around and then do the same for all three of the other ones as well. And now that all of these fit through the little holes, we can start attaching them. Because I made the mistake, I'm going to attach or put the little back pieces on for my kitty cat design to show you guys how we do that. I've already drawn the little rectangle pieces on. All that I need to do now is just add the glue and stick these on and do the waiting period. If we go and just grab glue, and I'm just going to say again that it only needs to be a very little bit. This glue really goes a long way. So I'm just going to pop that to the side. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that your pieces are in the lines that you drew. And this is why you should use a pen that you can get right into the corners, or a very sharp pencil. So that one is fine where it is. And I'm going to do just one side at a time. And the reason for that is just so that when I actually pop them onto the big piece, to make sure that I align them, I want to do it while the glue is still not completely dry, I should say, so that we can see, or move, sorry, so that we can move them into place. Leave this now for 1 minute to 2 minutes to dry, and then we're going to pop it on, make sure that they fit in the right place, and then we'll do the other side as well. Now that I've left it for 2 minutes, all I'm going to do is take my calendar. Unfortunately now it's built already, but this is actually a good example of what you'll do every month then when you get your new designs for the new month. And I'm just going to slide, let me pop it upside down, maybe it's better. Slide that on, make sure it's in the right place. I'm happy with where that is. And now I'm just going to go ahead and stick on the other side. And this side especially is really important that you do not let the glue dry fully. Put a timer on your watch, on your phone for 2 minutes, and make sure you don't come back when it's dry already, because then if you just have it off by like a millimeter, it's going to ruin your whole topper. Make sure that you put that timer on, pop them in the lines that you've drawn. If there's any excess glue on the sides, just remove it, because you don't want to stick the whole piece together when you do your fitting, because that's not going to be fun. Pop that on, make sure it's in the lines. Put your timer on your phone for 2 minutes, and then we'll come back in 2 minutes, and then we're going to make sure that it's all in the right place. My timer just went off. Now let's put this whole piece together and make sure everything fits properly. I already know that the side fits in, so I'm going to pop this side on first and just see if I got it in the right place, which I don't. When this happens, what I want you to do is take this side off, because we know the side fits. Pop this one in. Let me just turn it around so I can do this better. And then slightly put pressure on this one to get this side to fit, to click into place. And then now you know that it is in the right place. And this is the reason why I was saying, make sure you don't have extra glue on this one spilling out, because if you leave it there to dry, you don't want the whole piece to stick to this. That is basically how we're going to attach those. I'm so sorry I didn't hit record when I actually was doing this, but now you've got a good representation of what it will be like when your calendar is already built and then you have to add those pieces on. Let's dive back to the video and we'll carry on with the rest of the assembly for the calendar. And then I'm going to start putting on the leg pieces. For these, I don't actually have exact measurements for you, but I'm going to show you where I put mine. And how you can just make sure that you line it up properly. Again, with your wood glue, just go and adhere some wood glue to this. I'm just going to pop that on everywhere. Again, guys, you don't have to use too much glue on this. This glue is really amazing and holds everything in place. Okay, now for this, what I want to do is I kind of want to have about 1/2 centimeter from the side. I'm going to line it with this piece here. This piece is going to align with this one, and I'm just going to make sure that I have it straight to the bottom. And then at the bottom, I want to have about 1/2 centimeter space open. Just like this, I'm just going to remove the excess glue that I've now put on there. And then once I have it aligned, let me just make sure I've got this one in the right place. Okay, and then I'm going to use my clips and I'm just going to pop them on just to hold it in place. It will, if you use the same bulldog clips as what I've used here, they will literally just fit over the edge of that. And then I'm going to do the same for the other side. We're going to add some glue on. Oops, I just stuck everything into the glue. Ay, the trouble with having long nails, guys. Right, just popping that on. Making sure I get some glue everywhere. And again, it doesn't have to be a thick layer of glue. Put a little bit there on the edge. And then again, about 1 centimeter. Now for this, you just need to make sure that you have it aligned here with the bottom. Now, if you wanted to, what you could do is just use a ruler or something straight, just to make sure that you get these two level. I'm going to push that one up a little bit, because otherwise your calendar will stand a bit skewed. I need to pull that over, and I eyeball it, but it's about 1/2 centimeter and 1/2 centimeter at the bottom. And then I'm going to pop some clips on. Oopsie. Just let that dry. You guessed it, we're going to leave that for about 2 minutes, and then we're going to do the next pieces. And while the clips are now still in place, I've left it for 2 minutes just to dry, just to make sure that they don't move around. We're now going to put on the legs. The legs are basically just going to fit into those holes. Just make sure that you get them the same position, I should say, the same shape style, I don't know. Just make sure you get them this way and not one that way. Does that make sense? They can both stand. The shorter ends will be at the bottom of your calendar. For this, all you need to do is just take a healthy bit of glue and just pop it into those little holes. Because for this, we want to make sure that it actually sticks down properly, because this will hold everything upright. Move to the side, and then just pop some glue in here, and this one. Generous amount of glue, and then we're going to squash in the legs. I say squash because some of the glue will come out. Just pop your legs on. I'll try and turn this up so you can see, and just pop your legs in and make sure you get them squashed into place. And if the glue bleeds out on the end, just run something sharp. Luckily I've got my nails down the end, just to make it look nice and neat and tidy. And we're going to do the same for the other side. Pop that in. And then I'm just going to run my nail and just remove the excess glue. Oopsies. Off the side. And now we're going to leave that for about, I'm going to say, to be on the safe side, 2 to 5 minutes. You can leave this to the one side just so that they can dry properly. While that dries, what we can look at now is the watercolor paints that we put on the little palettes. What you want to do now is, you can see that the paint kind of bled on some of these. Now, if you want your palettes to just look a little bit nicer, all you need to do is just add a little bit of water to each one of the colors, and then all I'm going to do is just swatch that bottom piece. I'm just going to add that, and then all I'm going to do is just take my paint, and you can see the paint dots are now stuck to the palette, and I'm just going to paint that around the edges just so it looks a little bit more presentable. And I'm going to go around and just paint all of them. And you can see, especially with the sample paints, it doesn't take long for the paints to rehydrate. And then I'll leave this now to dry completely overnight to make sure that my paint dots are in place and good to go for when I want to do my crafting. If you do find that you come back and your paint dot is not stuck down, just add a little bit more water and just try again. Promise you they will definitely stick to the wood. And now look at that, that looks so much better already, doesn't it? It's just because, you know, as crafters, we always want things to look pretty and beautiful. And now it almost looks so nice you wouldn't even want to use it. I mean, mine looks like a mess because I've used the same palette for so long. And let's do the white, the last one. And now it just looks nice and presentable, and now you can pop this away and you can use it whenever ready. I would leave this overnight so it can dry properly to the palette, but if you are in a hurry, you could see I used the paint straight away there and it didn't cause any issues. There you go, there's that little bit. While that dries, let's go over your little icons. Like I was saying earlier, if there's any other icons or special occasion ones that you would like to see, then just pop them down in the comments below for me and I'll definitely work on them. These are just the basic ones that I came up with, but I'm thinking to do more collections of these. For these ones, all you need to do is just pop them out, just put some pressure on them and pop them out, and then you can have some fun painting these into whichever colors you want to, and then you can pop them onto your calendar just to make it a little bit more fun for special occasions. All of those can be popped out, and then let's open our calendar and we're going to assemble the whole piece together. There we go. And then all we're going to do now is take the main piece and we're going to remove the clips on the sides. Now we can stand that upright. We can then insert the stick, and then what you want to do is insert it and put it through your calendar and through on the other side. And the reason why I didn't make the stick to be attached is so that if you want to, at the end of the month, you want to flip the page over, you can actually just remove this, flip the page over, because what I like to do is keep my calendar, because then when I need to fill in next year's calendar, I've got all the old pages in the back and I can just go and fill in the next year's calendar. Or you can just tear them off if you're not somebody that would like to keep them. And then this is the piece that actually makes your calendar interchangeable. So you're going to pop this on the top. And just like that, you have yourself a cute interchangeable calendar, and I hope you guys will enjoy them. Super easy to use. This is my painted one that I did of the polar bear. So if you imagine that it is now end of January and you need to change over to your February one, all you need to do is just take this one off. And let's just imagine for a second that this one says February. Then you're going to pop this one on top, and then that will be your February calendar. The only thing that I will say is that the 2025 won't be on any of the designs coming out, purely because my lovely customer Jill sent me a message and said maybe I should remove that so that you guys can actually reuse them every year, which is a brilliant idea. Thank you so much for that, Jill. Yours won't have the 2025 one, so you can use it again next year. If you guys enjoyed this and you want to see a few more of my tutorials, you can just click on this playlist over here and you'll see all of my other tutorials and new ones coming out. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, I almost said button, so that you can be notified when my next video comes out and when I fill up on some more tutorials for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Happy crafting and Merry Christmas to everyone. Love you. Bye.